My name is Damali Sali and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host Joseph Masembe, who is the founder of Uganda's Little Hands Go Green, and he's going to tell us all about it. Joseph, you're very welcome.
It's a pleasure being in the company of someone as distinguished as you, Madam Ambassador.
Thank you.
But yes, my name is Joseph Masembe, and I am the team leader and founder of Uganda's Little Hands Go Green. And it doesn't feel rehearsed, but I keep telling people ours is the simplest of organizations or philosophies or beliefs. Actually, I don't even think we are an organization. We are a mindset that believes that ownership of the environment, taking care of it, and the promise of a green future for our children and grandchildren belongs to the children. So what Uganda's Little Hands Go Green does is to make sure that the children can grow up nurtured in the thinking and understanding that it is their duty to take care of the environment. So when we started in 2012, which is literally about 10 years ago, we started off with the notion of, can every child in Uganda that has the capacity plant and own at least one fruit tree? Because the focus of fruit trees is it will keep them healthy, the vitamins, but also the excitement of knowing that I planted a tree and I can see it have fruit. My son loves to pluck berries off one of the trees we planted at home, even when they are not fully ripe, because of the excitement of seeing that they're berries.
Can't wait.
I grew up getting excited watching a bean germinate in our science fairs in school. So I borrowed that same philosophy and imparted it, and boy oh boy, over the past 10 years, it has been miraculous and incredibly fun and exciting. Yeah.
So tell me, how do you try to change the mindsets of these young kids to love the environment, to take that concept on board?
In the very many things we learned so many years when we were growing up, children love to have fun, and they tell us all work without play makes Jack a dull boy. Today's education stuffs children with books and bags. You find a child in primary 4 with a bag
heavy backpack.
Is very heavy with literacy 1, literacy 2, I don't know, they are what? Things that half the time we'll never use in life. But nobody focuses largely on the extracurricular activities and the cognitive development of these children. So what we do at Little Hands Go Green is to use fun and entertainment and blend that into conservation. So when we are planting our trees, we are dancing and singing Shake Shake the Mango Tree, Mango Yellow, Mango Blue, and then we are also dancing Bad Boy Looking Good in Dio, and the excitement is that yes, when we look good in Dio, we plant trees, we're environment, we are friendly. And these are things, I remember once spoke to a parent who was telling me, but you see, your children are listening, they're dancing to these songs. I said, we cannot stop what our children consume, because whether we are there or we are not there, it is out there. They're seated in a car, they're listening to Ruga, they are listening to Levikson, and Chameleon, and then at home, they are that on TV, then on the phone. Sometimes our parents give kids phones to play games. So what they consume is out there. What we do at Little Hands Go Green is to make sure that we invite them to tell us what they have been consuming. So when we're in the school assembly, they say, should we sing? They want to sing? Sing a song. Then they'll sing it.
What they want.
And half the times, they are clueless about what they're singing.
They don't know the content of the lyrics.
No, they're just enjoying. Some of these songs, you listen to them, and the entire school chorus is like that. Then you call them and say, come and you dance, which is where the difference comes from. They don't dance them the way the songs are in the videos. They dance them in a creative way. And I normally join them in dancing, even the head teachers, and we shake our heads and do like this and throw hands up. But what we're trying to show them that is, forget what you're listening to. We can't control it. But this is how we want you to understand it. Dance it in this way, enjoy it in this way. So we do fun and entertainment and blend it into conservation. we have all these musicians that children love. They come to our green festivals, but we caution them. How do you sing? How do you dance? How do you do this? And at the end of the day, even all these songs, there is what they call clean edits.
Yes.
So you take out the words.
Versions, yes.
So you follow the instrument and the beats, and the children enjoy that, because that
actually that's what they want.
exactly,
because they don't really listen to the lyrics.
Focus on the lyrics.
Yes.
So with years of working with children, I learned that my son would wake up in the morning, even my daughters, and they rap songs, and say, "What does he know what he just said?" But him is just following the beat. It's just a rhythm. So that's one of the things we learned how to do. Let's get rhythm and fun and entertainment into this. So we do green festivals, we do climate change marches, we do conferences.
Tell me about the green festivals.
The Green Festival is one of those amazing things that is like a mini Disney. It happened at Kololaya Strip, and it hasn't happened for the past 2 years. So come 21st August, it's going to be crazily fun. And it's a one-stop fun entertainment center where you have green modeling, green songs, the zoo animals are there, they're bouncing castles, face painting, swimming. But it's not just a fun center. It is there because children are green. They dress in green, they wear green t-shirts, they wear green creative costumes, and the whole thing enters their mind. And remember, we are here because we are ambassadors of the environment. We take care of it, so we have to dress in green. So we have fun, we are rewarding ourselves for having planted trees. And we started in 2012, and luckily enough, the first time we did it, the president was flying over.
Over Kololo?
Yes.
Okay.
And he saw so many, he said, it's someone doing a political rally in my absence. So he landed his helicopter and came, and he found out just with trees and what, and he said, and he was busy talking to the kids, and they kept saying, "Your Excellency, I want to go into the helicopter." You know, it's, I find a very amateurish videos that someone picked them. I was also excited. The first time head of state, I know people die to get him there. Yes. I pulled my collar up. I was, when he left, I realized, wait, I didn't shake his hand. I didn't ask for money. I didn't, but he had gone. But that was the fun of it, and after that, it propelled us to different heights. He came back 2 years later. He came back
to another one?
Yes, now officially. I remember speaking to the person who had called me and said, "No, but what you can do, you can just come like this." I said, "Listen, last time it was accidental. This time it is on his official program." I said, "Why would he come to this? They're just kids." But the symbolism, he loves children, but the symbolism of understanding that these children are environmental patriots. So being a part of them, and reminding them that as the head of state, the environment is crucial, please continue. It was good. And some of the children, they picked that up. We saw the president, and it has lived with them as we move forward. So for us, a Green Festival is just a celebration of the children's efforts all year round in taking care of the environment. Okay. It's an opportunity for them to have fun, with a purpose. Yeah. So basically.
So which kids are allowed to come? These have to be ambassadors of Uganda?
No. What happened is we have senior green ambassadors. The way you go to school and you have all these children, but you have prefects. Yes. So we also have prefects of the environment who we call, the senior green ambassadors that have been there. But every child is literally a green ambassador. Okay. So for as long as you have been in school, or you are in school and you're 13 years and below, and you're either in primary or kindergarten or daycare center, and you purport to love the environment, take care of it, you don't do littering, you try and avoid plastic pollution, come and join us. Even those that don't do, when they come, they pick it up, they get converted. So we used to have this idea where we used to give a sash, like for these beauty queens or beauty kings, and say, you're a green ambassador. And we used to give two, one for a boy, one for a girl. Now you find that you go to some schools and you find yourself giving almost like one per class, or 15 or 20. Too many because it's too many. You find a school that has 3,000 children, you can't focus on just the two. So you have lower primary and upper primary and all the rest. But it's an interesting thing, and it has helped to nurture a generation of environmentally conscious children. You have some young kids who have done amazing things. I know, top of my head, Paula Marie Kadaya, She's now the chairperson of the SWAS clubs at Aga Khan High School. But she started
from
2015 when she was still in primary, almost 7 years ago. Now she's marshalling up the rest. You have Karen Tendo, who is now in Namagunga, and she has also been that since she was in City Parents. You have Ivy, who was from Silver Spoon. You have a friend of mine who is called Matovu Asibi, is now in Masaka, and he keeps calling me, telling me I'm now in secondary school, but he was a green ambassador of Kawempe.
Okay.
Then you have my stubborn boy Tuata Shaham, who was in Kampala Academy. So you find these children who now, I was yesterday in Mother Marjorie Primary School, and we're swearing in prefects and giving them certificates. And you have children say, Twagala vibe. But the school knows that vibe is brought by the green ambassadors because they take care of the environment. So that's, we have tapped into that, and I think we enjoy it. And we morphed from just planting fruit trees to making sure that how do we help to stop the Kavera pollution? How do we stop plastics? How do we... It's a gradual journey, because when I know people these days, the world over focus on all the youth. But you see, if I give an 8 or 10-year-old money to go and buy some fruit trees, they'll buy fruit trees and maybe keep 500 shillings for ball gum or ting or whatever gum they're chewing these days. If I give the same amount of money to boys in Macquarie University, a young youth or senior 6, he'll look for data for his phone.
Definitely.
As priority number one. Now that's the difference. So when you're dealing with the youth, you're doing mindset change. When you're dealing with the children, you're nurturing minds.
Okay.
So of the two, I would rather nurture minds
than try to
change a mind. Yeah, so that's the little ones go green mentality and concept. Yes.
So over the last, you said you started these festivals 2012. Over the last 12 years, you've been doing them each year?
Yes, every year. We've done them every year. We also did one in the west at Igongo in Barara. We now do one in December at the Bugembe Stadium at the home of the Chabazinga in Jinja. We're trying to go regional. We have even gone to Rwanda and started Rwanda's Little Ones Go Green in 2017. So yeah, we also went to Kenya in Nairobi. You see, we have an arm that supports Little Ones Go Green, that drives talent in children and fun. It's called My Kid is a Superstar. It's married into Little Ones Go Green, but it is the one that looks for the fun elements in children and the vibe and drives it. So yes, we have done it. We also do climate change conferences. We celebrated our 10 years on the 24th of May at Hotel Africana, and with the proud sponsorship of the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Mong, she organized a conference for the senior green ambassadors, representing about 50 schools, 250 of them with their green patrons. Came to Africana, we had fun, we talked, and our conferences are almost like the big ones that happen, but for us it is at our level.
Okay.
What can we do? Let's make sure in our school we all have dustbins. Let's make sure we do this. And those little things.
They're coming up with the solutions
themselves.
They
come up with their own solutions there, and that they can actually, within their own capacity, be able to live up to and
so they're not
fulfill.
This has to happen, this has to happen.
No.
They're doing the thing.
By the way, just to put this out there. Sometimes people say, but you Little Ones Go Green, you are government people, you do this. And I say, no. What is government? Government is the people. So we at Little Ones Go Green do not focus on this. Government is not doing this, and is not doing the other. Forget what they are not doing. What can we do? Because we are government. We are the people. So we focus on the things we can do. If you can beat pollution, we can. If you can charge schools to make sure that when you're burning rubbish, don't burn it next to the children's dormitories, because when the fumes are going to how do you get better stoves? Can we link you up to someone to give you better cooking stoves? Can we make sure that trees are planted? Can they be watered?
So you're action oriented rather than
we're action oriented.
Complaints oriented.
that is not our forte, unfortunately. No.
That's good. And I was watching one of the videos you showed me where one of the kids was saying that she will pick the Kavera in her compound,
Yes.
pick the Kavera in her neighborhood.
So me as a person, I can start by collecting all the Kaveras in my home.
Yeah.
This will lead to also gathering all Kaveras in a neighborhood.
Okay.
This will also lead to gathering all Kaveras in a district, and so on and so forth. So it goes bigger and bigger, and the campaign gets stronger and stronger,
Yeah.
and people get more involved, seeing the importance of why we should ban Kavera.
It is cumulative, and I'll give you an example. When in 2012 when we started, I mean, I was doing interviews. I'm on NBS, I'm on NTV, and some of my key project staff were doing that. Today, we don't do that. I only sit with ambassadors. With Shaka side. What we then do is not that the other media are not ambassadorial material. It is just that if we have spent 10 years trying to raise a generation, how do we know whether we have raised them right? So if I have to go to NBS, I walk there
go with
two of the ambassadors. I say, mic them up.
Let them
What are we going to say? I say, you've been doing this for a few years, answer their questions. So they sit and they have a proper interview on NTV, on NBS, on CCTV, on Press TV, and they do international interviews. And the pride you get when you see that, yes, they can now articulate.
Yes.
It means that so many years in the future, when I'm long gone and our teams are long gone, these children will carry on that mantle with personal ownership.
Yes.
So for us, that's it.
And so I guess it's also the impact that you and I love the phrase when you say that we don't inherit the environment.
Yes.
We borrow it from our.
You look at it from this
our
point of
kids.
view. You have people wake up in the morning, they work so hard. You go and buy a piece of land in Nigeria, you farm in Luwero, I don't know what, all these things you amass them. Then boom, 6 feet under, you're gone. Then your son inherits. So who was the real owner anyway? Was it you or was it your son? So that's why the Red Indians, the Native Americans, created that phrase. It says, we do not borrow this. We do not actually own or inherit the land from our parents or grandparents. We simply borrow it from our children, because tomorrow they are going to take over it. It's theirs. You're just keeping it for them. So we have been making all these bad decisions on our children's land and the environment and everything. We are polluting, we are doing this, and we are going to go tomorrow.
Yes.
Then they are going to wake up.
And then
If you look at
stuck
it
with
when you go into these international conferences, they tell you the world is heating up 1.5 degrees Celsius, and they say they are trying to reduce it. No matter how much we do today, our projections show that we will go to 2.4.
Beyond the 1.5.
With all the effort that we intend to put in now.
And if the tipping point is 1.5,
yes.
isn't it? Okay.
So we are headed for disaster. The only problem is we do not see it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not obvious.
If you realize the rains don't come as much as they would have come.
No, the season changed.
The seasons have changed.
No one knows when it's going to rain.
Hot, scorching hot. When the rains come, there are hailstorms.
Yes.
The world has
even the Nsenene. I was upset. Nsenene didn't come.
And I don't Nsenene.
Nsenene. So I was very upset because I kept asking people from Masaka. Nsenene Ziriwa. They're like, it's the climate.
No, but you see, I'll tell you this. I think the world woke up a little bit too late.
Yeah.
And our friends in America, for a long time, did not believe in this whole climate change era. They failed to ratify the Kyoto Protocol, the Bali Conference. Everything was haphazard. But then, when 100-year hailstorms and hurricanes
hit them,
started to happen every 4 or 5 years, and shut down Wall Street for, I think, 4 days, they woke up. They woke up and said, now listen, let's talk. And then this is how bad it is. You see, when in ancient African tradition, when someone became your friend and they visit you in your different culture, you give them a name. Someone from Toro, you give them a Buganda name. A Muzungu comes and is at your home, you give him, a local name. Now your name will be Sally, you will be called Masembe, you'll be called, because you are now one with them.
Yes.
Look at what has happened with all these 100-year hailstorms. Because now we have become one with them, we give them names, Hurricane Isaac, Katrina, Stewart Jacob.
Yes.
It it seems funny, but it is disastrous. So we
But I was speaking to, who was saying all these COP conferences, they don't achieve because they talk, but there is not action.
The biggest problem with some of these conferences, most of them, is that people do not accept responsibility, and when you don't accept responsibility, you can't take action. Some of these countries have been the biggest polluters for centuries.
Yeah. The African continent is just 3% contribution to pollution.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
In the past 2 decades or 3 decades, Africa has contributed only 1% of the global emissions. 1% in like 1990 to 2000, 2010 and 20. 1%.
Wow.
Now, these countries that have been doing it for so many years wake up in the morning and say, now you know what we're going to do?
Africa, stop.
Coal, no more oil, don't get it from the ground. I just discovered all the other day. So how do you tell a person who thinks that this is the solution to helping my economy, that just leave it in the ground? But you did not tell yourself that
all those hundreds of years.
And then the problem is that the balance of the equation is not as fair as it is, because we are coming up with joint solutions as a population, as a planet, as a world. Yet what we should say is, you damnally spent 3 decades messing up the planet. Therefore, you need to bear this mantle. Then this one is just starting. Maybe do this.
Okay.
You can't bundle us into one bandwagon together. So I think
when the one who's committed the biggest crimes is
but I'm not the expert on those ones. That's why you see I focus on the things that we can do.
Control.
That's why you see our concentration is on the children.
Yes.
Let us do this at home.
Let's do what we can.
Locally grown solutions that may eventually have a global impact.
And I like the action orient, because when you listen to a lot of these big conversations about climate change, they're talking about ice melting, these 100-year-old hurricanes, all that stuff. It seems so big that there's nothing you can do about it. But I like when you bring it down to the ground where you're like, no, you can plant a tree actually. You can actually clean up that career. Like, you bring it down to what can you do as well.
It is actually like politicians. Yes. When politicians come up with manifestos, they're going to do big things. Half the times, people don't believe in all that because they haven't localized their manifestos. I don't want you to tell me that my GDP is going to grow, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Tell me that, you know what, for you people in Masaka, Emwanyi Jembade Mulima will make sure that there we are put for a place where whenever every sack you take there, they pay cash immediately. Now that makes sense to me. So I'll plant knowing someone is going to buy. Same thing about environment and its conservation. Let's not talk greenhouse gas emissions because someone in Nakapiripiti, Kabera Maido doesn't understand greenhouse gas emissions. But tell them that you see, if you don't plant trees, enkuba tejja kutonya, kati ate ebijanjalo byosimba tebijja kula, kati tusimbe leero. That makes sense to me. So we need to localize our conversation on conservation. Localize the conversation on conservation. That's how we'll manage. And that is the, for lack of a better word, the little ones go green approach. And for us, we always tell people that our environment is our future. And our future is our own responsibility. It's not for government, not for radiation, it is ours. I have to wake up. Every individual
has.
Yes.
Has a responsibility for it.
Perfect.
Okay. That is great. And I know you're focusing on the trees, but then what about the Kavera pollution, the plastic pollution?
That one I get my legs of course, because our biggest crisis today is plastic pollution. And we do not feel it because it is not as evident as would be. If you drive when you went to Kasokosoko Chireka, you see a landfill there.
Yes.
This landfill has bags, Kavera, that have been in the ground for years.
And they're still there.
And they're still there and they will never leave. Now that land becomes rendered unproductive. When you go to some of these forests, some of our tourists, they throw crisps bags, and these funny little things. These ones affect the animals. If you see the floods in Kampala, it is not because we haven't tried a lot to work on our drainage. It is because the sewers and the drainage system is clogged with kavera, with the plastic bottles. And there are people today who will provide statistics and tell you that company X has the most amount of bottles in this river, in this lake, in this drainage system. And they know it. Then what they do on a corporate phase, they can say, we are committed, we are doing this, we did the other CSR, we did the other. And then they sugarcoat it with a little bit of confusion, forgetting that their children and their grandchildren live in the same community, are going to be affected by asthma and all these funny bacterial infections and all these diseases, etc.
Yes.
So for me, plastic pollution has been a big one. And we, as Little Ones of Green, tried in 2015 to do a kavera-free festival. And we called children and we told them, actually we told them, bring all the kavera in your home, we'll give you a present.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we did it. We gave them...
they carried them over.
They brought them from the ones that mommy uses to shop, and we gave them alternative bags. But it was just an effort. We can only do so much. At our Green Festival in August, we are going to attempt to see how we can kick plastics out of there. We are working arrangements.
How are you going to do it? These are little kids who drink soda.
The soda will be there, but we'll give it to them either in a paper cup. So it's the plastic stays in the tent, paper cup, or for those of them that have water bottles, please come with them. So we just empty into that. But we have to start from somewhere because that is it is going to be the next crisis.
It is, because our village is in like 8 kilometers from Bombo, and I always feel so sad when I get there and there's kavera everywhere. Like, this is not even a village anymore, because before you would go and it's green, it's clean, but no longer, and kavera is everywhere.
A wise man once told me, and I think I've seen it around a lot, that wise men plant trees under whose shade they know they will never sit. And when the ancient Africans were giving people directions, they'll say, if you keep going straight, you get to a very big mango tree. Then when you get there, you just turn on your left to go straight. When you find that fene tree, then you have reached. So that showed us that these were ancient landmarks, but fruit trees are never cut. So which means, one, we need to do that, if not for any other reason, for directions, because they never cut fruit trees. But secondly, which is one of my last take-homes, is a friend of mine, he departed, Lord rest his soul in peace, was the former Supreme Mufti of Uganda. He was called Sheikh Zubair Kayongo. He told me, wherever you ever go, I want you to come with me and we plant trees. And he used to pray for me, what Muslims call Duan, I'm not Muslim, a lot. Told me every month come. Simply because you are planting and teaching children how to plant fruit trees. And in the Islamic religion, a fruit tree is what they call in Luganda sadaka tajulukuka, an unending sacrifice. Because you plant it today, 10 years later, the people who are eating fruits don't know. And then that gives you unending blessings. In the Quran, and I've not even talked about the Bible because I'm Christian, it has over 500 hadiths that talk about protection of the environment. In the Bible itself, God gave us the world. He created it and gave man dominion over it. Let us take care of it, nurture it. It is our responsibility.
Don't destroy it.
So that is why, because the adults have not, the little ones have decided to follow what the Quran says and what the Bible says. Let us take dominion and nurture and take care of the environment. So yes, that is little ones growing.
Albert, we've come to the end of our session.
Thank you.
Is there any last thing you'd like to emphasize to our viewers?
Just one. If you have any children, if you don't have them, borrow them, or find them on Snapchat or something like that, but plant a tree with a child. You never know, it will go. A fruit tree, not just a tree, a fruit tree. It will go along with. Borrow them. So for those of you on Snapchat, TikTok, all these funny little things, plant a fruit tree with a child. And don't forget, we did 10 years. We'll see them at the Green Festival this year and for years to come. Joseph Masembe is my name. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you had it. So definitely look out for the festival in August, and I urge you and your kids plant a fruit tree. Thank you.
Thank you.